All right, welcome back, everybody. Today, the launch of 16 Days of Activism, No Violence Against Women and Children. We're coming to you live from Pinville, Soweto, and this is at the Zoe Bible Church this morning. This is where we're expecting to see the minister arriving any minute now, because she's scheduled to give the opening address. That, of course, is the minister in the presidency of Women, Youth and Persons with Disability, Maita Nokwana Mashabane, talking to all issues that are surrounding gender-based violence and the scourge or plague or whatever word you want to use to describe the situation in South Africa. Many of us often hear, read and experience stories of abuse in all kinds of manners. Now, whether it's to you, whether it is to somebody you know, a friend, your mother, your children, whoever it may be, it is something that desperately needs to be addressed. But instead of me speaking too much, I really want to engage in a conversation with a very brave woman who wants to speak to us this morning, and it is such a pleasure to welcome onto Morning Live Taryn Dry. She, of course, is a GBV survivor and is attending the event today. Taryn, thank you for being with us, and it's such a pleasure to be able to talk to you this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored.
Yeah. So, Taryn, this is very, very new for you and very fresh. I mean, in fact, you're still staying in one of the protective houses that has been set up by government to help ladies that are trying to get out of the situation. So, if you don't mind, would you let us into your story? What has happened to you?
So I've been in a 10-year relationship. It started overseas, and the relationship continued back here in South Africa, and when it ended, it got to a point where I just realized this is not for me, and not that it's not only not for me, but it was getting to a point where it was really, really toxic and abusive mentally. So that is when I decided that I've got to leave. Yeah, I've got to leave.
So your form of abuse, I mean, whether we're talking you talking physical and emotional, it was all like that.
Yes, it was such a lot of torment, and what I'd realized is that I'd actually attracted this. I attracted this growing up in a family that was an abusive family. So
So it's something that unfortunately you grew up. So was it that you grew up in an environment where it was your mom, your dad?
It was my mom and my dad, and my mom actually died from a heart attack at the age of 45.
Yeah.
So when my health started taking taking a toll from our relationship, I realized that this is where it's going to end. It's going to either end up me being dead from abuse or a natural cause, which was, it leads to with your health as well. It affects your health, not only just your mental health.
Did your mom stay in the relationship the whole time?
Yeah, she stayed in the relationship. She stayed in her marriage. And I remember as kids, we always used to ask her, when are you going to leave? When are you going to leave? And I just remember growing up that I will not stay in a relationship. Yeah. So when it was our 10-year mark being together, and, I can just see this relationship is going nowhere. Nothing is changing. It's just the same. I had to make a plan. It wasn't actually me, it was my community. The community around me that actually forced me into calling the police and getting external people involved.
Yeah. I hear the story, and it's a story that I hope has a very happy ending, because you yourself have children as well. Yeah. So you've got a
I've got one son. He's 7 years old.
Yeah.
And this is very special for me because I'm teaching him to become a different man. So I specifically left the relationship because I do not want him to witness or see what is normal. That's what I grew up in. I grew up thinking it was normal, and at some point in my relationship I realized, no, this is not normal. People don't do this to each other. This is not what love is supposed to be like. We don't speak to each other toxically. We don't speak to each other. We be mindful, So this was something that I had to go through in order to break free, to break cycles, and to change things, not only for myself but in my community and amongst other women women as well, is that we have to break cycles. Yeah.
So, Taryn, I want to ask you what the turning point was for you, because obviously for all of your years growing up, you experienced abuse. You then moved straight into an abusive relationship. But there was obviously a moment that you said, enough. Was it an event? Was it, I know you said the community, and I'm going to ask you about that now, but personally in your head, or was there something that you just said, that's it, I'm out?
When you have lost everything through your relationship, when you've lost everything, because an abusive relationship is not only just about physical abuse. Your perpetrator would want to take everything, anything that he could do to hurt you and to make you feel small and to minimize you. They go after that thing. So all your material things, your personal things, those was, it was lost. It was, it was stolen. It was just too much torment, and that was my turning point. When everything was taken from me. That was just not only just my dignity, but my personal things, my personal material things, and that was my turning point.
I mean, financially, obviously, that's where they cripple you financially.
They cripple you financially,
and then there is nowhere to go. And that's a very, very big problem. Now, let's talk to the community involvement, because that is, for me, a very, very important topic to talk about, is how communities can get involved. So how did the community help you?
So the community helped me in terms of calling the police and speaking my church community as well. That helped gave me confidence to actually walk this road. Otherwise, I wouldn't have walked this road. And because so much people in the community was against women abuse, or against violence, against shouting and beating, they would actually get involved. The neighbors got involved. They would come to my help sometimes, or just stand up for me, because sometimes you're actually scared to stand up to your perpetrator. So the community has helped me quite a lot. I do see a change in our community. I see a lot of men coming to the forefront and standing up for women as well, against these men. So I'm really, really happy.
A question I want to ask you is that a lot of the times, some people and some members of the community feel like it's not my place to get involved. It's not me, that's not my relationship, it's not my home, it's not my family. I don't want to interfere. I have to let that just ride the course. From the perspective of somebody who's living in an abusive relationship, do you want the community to help you? You
actually want your community to help you, but the first step is for you to actually break the silence, to make the noise, or to scream, or to shout. And it's very it's quite common in our African communities that women are submissive and they stay silent. And this is one of the things that I just refused to become, was to be silent. And that's where it needs to start. It needs to start with the woman actually giving the community a notice, a sign, awareness that this is going on. And I can guarantee you communities will jump in. I would like to see more programs, counseling programs for men and for relationships, in the communities, in churches, because every relationship needs to go through counseling.
Indeed, and that's and you there's one thing for you to be hiding away to try and protect yourself from the abuser, but the abuser is probably just going to move on and go and abuse someone else eventually.
Insecurity is a natural thing. It's a natural thing, and we need to. These things haven't been taught to us while we were kids, how to adult, how to manage our emotions, how to manage our insecurities, how to become stronger people. So this is something that needs to be focused not only in our communities but at schools as well. We need to start raising kids that are aware of other people, that are aware of their feelings and how to express them healthy, in a healthy way.
I'm going to warn the director in studio. I'm going to steal just 3 minutes, please, Llewellyn. I need to ask just a few more questions, because for me this is the most important part of today. I mean, yes, it's lovely hearing the minister speak, but it's the experience that you're going through that for me is much more important, is to hear the voices on the ground. Taryn, your abuser, let's just call him that. Is that
my perpetrator?
Your perpetrator. Thank you. Okay, I know they're correct terms. Where is he now? And are you protected?
So I am protected right now. I'm nowhere where he can find me, and that's also quite a scary thing, because we share a child together, and that's also quite a painful thing, because your child doesn't understand. All he knows is that he wants to see his dad, and he doesn't understand the terms and conditions, our case that is going going on or what is happening. So that's quite a challenge for me right now, is
Okay.
to manage myself, my case, and my son's relationship with his father.
When you went to report the incidents, I imagine that you have. You went,
Yeah.
you went through the whole system. How did you find it? Was it friendly to you? Have you been to court yet? And let's talk about the
Yes.
police experience.
So I've been helped with the police, and they've actually removed me from my home, from my environment, and taken me to a different location, that if the perpetrator does come, he could not find me.
Yeah.
So they have removed me from my environment. I'm very impressed with Community of Safety and Department of Social Development and how they use our stories and our weaknesses to empower us. So I'm very impressed with how I've been taken care of and how my case has been dealt with, and how just general social workers, just everything. I'm really impressed with how they
with
take
how
care
it's been
of
so far.
Yes.
And when you go to court, I mean, have you got a court date?
Yes, so I haven't had my court date just as yet, and that's due to them finding the perpetrator.
So you
that
cannot find
also-
him right now?
Yes, so that also delays their process.
Yeah.
Because he's changed his location, he's aware that we have a case on, and
this is now where the problem comes in.
the problem comes in.
Are you not worried speaking? And I can imagine people watching, seeing you on TV. I'm scared that he may be watching you.
Yeah.
Why have you decided to speak out and to actually put your face on TV?
I have decided to speak out because there are so many voices that don't get heard, and there's so many women that don't have an opportunity to speak. And I've decided to take this call because I want to tell other women not to stay silent, that they shouldn't be controlled by somebody else, their perpetrator. You know, get out and live life, get out and make a change, get out and speak difference into people's lives,
Yeah.
no matter what your perpetrator, what the circumstance is, you know. And I believe that there's a God in the sky that protects us.
Yeah.
So no matter what happens, nothing can come against me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And break the cycle. Break the cycle of abuse.
Break the
Because
silence.
for you, that's what you've done. You grew up with it. You moved into a relationship like that, and your son was bearing witness to all of this.
Yeah.
And now, hopefully, you're going to break it, that he doesn't continue.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is what is needed.
Yes.
Taryn, you're so brave, and I thank you so much for speaking to us. I really do. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
And I think if there is a message, if there is somebody that is watching today that is looking at you and saying, if she did it, I can do it. Is there a message that you would like to give to somebody that is waking up battered and bruised because this is the life they lead?
Yeah, I just want to say to every woman out there that you are worthy, and that no man or no person should ever shame you and take your dignity away from you. It's difficult being a woman, being a natural creator, and you have to find the strength within yourself to walk out, to tell yourself that this is not how I'm supposed to be feeling. This is
Yeah.
not how I want to feel. This is not where I want my relationship to go.
Yeah.
And to a lot of women who are in African marriages like I am, it's quite a negative thing when you have gone through a divorce or when you've gone through a separation, because you look down upon from the community that you're not strong enough to hold a marriage. I just want to say those are a whole lot of taboo that is allowing you to stay stuck into something that is not really going to help you grow and prosper.
Yeah.
And help you, reap the benefits.
You're amazing.
Yeah.
You are Taryn, you're amazing. I'm so proud of you. I know I shouldn't be touching you with COVID, but I'm so proud of you. And I just
you.
hope that this journey continues for you. Because I know that a lot of women, you find the strength, but then for some reason you break down again and end up going back.
Yeah.
So we want to see you carrying on and thrive.
Thank
well
you
done.
so much.
Well done,
Thank you.
Taryn. Thank you so much. Taryn talking to us about her story, a survivor, a very strong survivor who's come out and spoken to us. And she's currently now living in a protective house. So for her to come out here and speak is absolutely incredible. And thank you so much to her. I think it's 7:30. It's gone 7:30. Let's get you some news headlines. And I know when you come back, I'm sure we'll be getting that address from the Minister. Sakina, let me hand it back to you.